Have you ever wondered why some Pinterest accounts get thousands of impressions while others barely get any? 2 months ago, I had exactly the same question. I wasn't a Pinterest expert. I had no huge audience, no paid promotions, no secret tricks. But I decided to treat Pinterest like an experiment and see what would happen if I stayed consistent. Fast forward just 2 months. My account crossed 123,000 impressions. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what I did, what mistakes I made, and what actually worked. Everything you're seeing on the screen is from my own Pinterest account. These are my real analytics, real pins, real results. Nothing is edited or faked. When I first started, I made the same mistake that almost every beginner makes. I wanted to create content for everyone, different styles, different ideas, different niches. But Pinterest doesn't reward random content. It rewards clarity. So I made one important decision. I chose a single niche and stayed consistent. Most of my content is based around YouTube thumbnails, creator inspiration, and AI design. Once Pinterest understood what my account was about, it slowly started recommending my pins to the right audience. Now here's something that most people don't tell you. My first pins were not successful. Some of them barely received any impressions. Honestly, it was frustrating. But instead of deleting them or quitting, I asked myself one simple question. How can I make my next pin just 1% better? That one question completely changed how I approached Pinterest. And that's where everything started to improve. One of the biggest reasons my account started growing was something very simple. I stopped designing pins for myself and started designing them for people who were scrolling. Think about it. When you're on Pinterest, you don't stop for an average-looking image. You stop for something that catches your attention in less than a second. That's exactly the mindset I used while creating my thumbnails. If you look closely at my designs, you'll notice that many of them follow a similar style. I often use the same character or avatar. I keep the colors bright and eye-catching, and I try to make every thumbnail look like it belongs to the same creator. This is called visual branding. It's the same reason why you can recognize creators like Mr. Beast just by looking at their thumbnails. People remember a consistent style much faster than random designs. Another thing I focus on is keeping the design clean. A lot of beginners add too much text, too many effects, and too many different colors. Instead of attracting attention, that usually confuses the viewer. My goal is simple. When someone sees my pin, I want them to immediately understand what it's about. That's why I usually keep the text short, use bold fonts, and make the main subject stand out. The background also plays a huge role. Rather than using random backgrounds every time, I try to use backgrounds that have a similar feel. This makes my profile look cleaner and more professional. And honestly, consistency matters much more than perfection. When I created each new thumbnail, I wasn't trying to make the world's greatest design. I was simply trying to make it slightly better than my previous one. That small improvement, repeated over dozens of pins, started creating a huge difference. But great-looking thumbnails alone are not enough, because even the best design won't perform well if Pinterest doesn't know who to show it to. So the next thing I changed was how I wrote my titles, descriptions, and keywords. And that's probably one of the most important lessons I learned during this entire journey. One thing I quickly realized is that Pinterest isn't just another social media app. It's actually a search engine. That means if your titles and descriptions don't tell Pinterest what your content is about, your pins have a much lower chance of reaching the right audience. Whenever I upload a new pin, I never use random titles like cool design or my thumbnail. Instead, I use words that people are actually searching for. For example, if I'm uploading a YouTube thumbnail design, I'll include keywords like YouTube thumbnail, gaming thumbnail, or thumbnail design inspiration. These small changes help Pinterest understand my content much better. The same goes for descriptions. I don't write long paragraphs. I simply describe the pin naturally while using relevant keywords. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to clearly explain what the pin is about. Another question people always ask is, how many pins should I post every day? Honestly, there's no perfect number. Some creators post 5 pins a day, while others post 10 or even more. What matters most is consistency. I'd rather post one high-quality pin every day than upload 10 low-quality pins that nobody wants to click. One mistake I made in the beginning was expecting instant results. I thought every new pin would immediately start getting thousands of impressions. That's not how Pinterest works. Sometimes a pin takes days or even weeks before it starts performing. That's why patience is so important. Don't delete a pin just because it didn't perform well on the first day. Instead of chasing viral results, I focused on improving something every time I designed a new thumbnail. Sometimes I changed the background. Sometimes I improved the colors. Other times I made the text cleaner or adjusted the layout. Every new pin became a little better than the previous one. And that's when something interesting started happening. Pinterest slowly began understanding my account. More of my pins started appearing in search results. My impressions kept increasing, and eventually my account crossed 123,000 impressions. Looking back, I don't think there was one magical trick that made everything work. It was a combination of small improvements repeated over and over again. Choosing one niche, creating consistent thumbnails, writing better titles, using relevant keywords, and staying patient. If you're just starting on Pinterest, don't compare yourself to creators who have been posting for years. Focus on improving your own content step by step. Even if your first few pins don't perform well, keep learning and keep experimenting. Every successful creator starts from zero. Right now, my Pinterest journey is still continuing. I'm still learning, testing new ideas, and trying different strategies to see what works best. My next goal is to grow this account even further and hopefully reach 1 million impressions in the future. If this video helped you understand Pinterest a little better, then I'm really glad I could share my experience with you. I'll continue posting videos about Pinterest growth, YouTube thumbnail design, AI tools, and everything I learn along the way. So if you don't want to miss those videos, make sure to subscribe to the channel and let me know in the comments what topic you'd like me to cover next. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.